We have learned that the external financial statements are issued with the objective of providing information useful to assess the value of the firm. But how far the published financial statements are effective in providing information relevant to objectively assess the value of the firm? Please look at this chart. This is based on a study made by Ocean Tomo. This provides the market value of S&P 500 companies into tangible and intangible assets. You can see that the mix of intangible assets in market value of these companies has increased from a mere 17% in 1975 to 87% in 2015. You should appreciate that the intangible assets are more difficult to value compared to tangible assets. Further, it is difficult to protect the value of intangible assets as they are not insurable. However, only a minuscule of these intangible assets find its place in a GAAP compliant balance sheet. Major portion is buried as brand value, which cannot be recognized in the financial statements. Understanding the drivers behind this major component of value is basic to corporate governance as well as investing decisions. However, traditional financial reporting formats are inadequate in providing information on these drivers. Integrated Reporting Framework of the International Integrated Reporting Council, IIRC, is a very notable initiative to fill this gap. Integrated reporting is now incorporated in CMA Part 1 curriculum. Please have a look at the relevant LOS, Learning Outcome Statement, introduced from 2020. I would like to cover these LOS in this video. Let me give you a brief outline of the IR framework. Integrated reporting is a process founded on integrated thinking that results in a periodic integrated report by an organization about value creation over time. Integrated report is the output of integrated thinking, and integrated reporting is founded on integrated thinking. Integrated thinking is a prerequisite to integrated reporting. It will lead to integrated decision making and actions that lead to long-term value creation. For example, if you are a beverages manufacturing company, your long-term sustenance depends on preserving water resources. You have to take care of this non-financial responsibility to create value in the long run. So you understand that the performance can no longer be separated into financial and non-financial silos when you have an integrated thinking in place. It is impossible to tell the value creation story with just financial information and not talking about other forms of capital. An integrated report is designed to provide this holistic view of the organization by connecting financial and non-financial information to the long-term value creation possibilities of the organization. The primary purpose of an integrated report is to explain to providers of financial capital how an organization creates value over time. Definitely, needless to say that it benefits all stakeholders. Integrated reports should be prepared in accordance with the IR framework. However, the IR framework is principles based. It does not prescribe any specific KPIs or measurement methods. The IR framework issued in 2013 by IARC deals with three topics: fundamental concepts, guiding principles, and content elements of integrated report. We'll go through these features one by one. First, the fundamental concepts. Fundamental concepts are categorized into value creation for the organization and for others, the capitals, and the value creation process. So, the first fundamental concept described in IR framework is value creation. Value created by an organization has two interrelated aspects. Value created for the organization itself, which enables financial returns to the providers of financial capital, and value created for others, i.e., stakeholders and society at large. These two forms of value creation are closely related. For example, when an organization sells a product, it creates value for the organization through enhanced revenues and profits. And at the same time, depending on the nature of the product, it creates value for the customer also. Outcomes of these interactions affect the organization's social license to operate. The second fundamental concept is the 6 capitals. You may remember them as FMIHSN: financial, manufactured, intellectual, human, social and relationship, and natural capital. These categories are only a general guideline. You can define the capitals appropriate to your organization. Not all capitals are equally relevant, and some may not be even applicable in a particular organization. While most organizations interact with these 6 capitals to some extent, these interactions might be relatively minor or so indirect that they are not sufficiently important to be included in a particular organization's integrated report. So, you can have 4 capitals, 5 capitals, or even 7 capitals, and you may call them differently according to the way you perceive the value creation process and the capitals you use and affix. The next fundamental concept is the value creation process. This beautiful graphic regarding value creation is included in the framework itself. Please look at this. External environment sets the context within which the organization operates. At the core of the organization is its business model. which draws on various capitals as inputs and converts them into outputs through its business activities. Outputs could be products, services, byproducts, or waste. These outputs lead to outcomes in terms of their effects on the capitals which provided the inputs in the first place. Corporate governance identifies risks and opportunities, sets strategy and allocate resources in the context of mission and vision. Performance monitoring and the outlook lead to continuous refinement of all these components, forming a loop. As you have seen the three fundamental concepts of the framework, the next core feature detailed in the framework is guiding principles. Let us get into the guiding principles. There are 7 guiding principles. These guiding principles underpin the preparation and presentation of integrated report. They are as follows: strategic focus and future orientation. An integrated report should provide insight into the organization's strategy and how it relates to the organization's ability to create value. Connectivity and information. This is very important. You know that an integrated report is all about interconnectedness of various factors that affect the organization's ability to create value over time. Stakeholder relationships. An integrated report should provide insight into the nature and quality of the organization's relationship with its key stakeholders and how it responds to their legitimate needs and interests. Materiality. An integrated report should disclose information about matters that substantively affect the organization's ability to create value. Conciseness. An integrated report should be concise. It should not run into 1,000 pages. Reliability and completeness. An integrated report should include all material matters, both positive and negative. But this should be done in a balanced way, as there can be conflict between completeness objectives and conciseness objectives. Consistency and comparability. The information in an integrated report should be presented on a consistent basis. Then only it creates comparison over time and comparison with other organizations. As we have seen the guiding principles, let us now go through the next feature, content elements. The framework details 8 content elements to be included in the report with a question to be answered under each of them. The content elements are organizational overview and external environment, governance, business model, risks and opportunities, strategy and resource allocation, performance, outlook, and basis of preparation and presentation. And while presenting the content elements, organization should take account of general reporting guidance. It is easy to remember the content elements if you understand the value creation process. The content elements are fundamentally linked to each other and are not mutually exclusive. There are overlaps. The order of the content elements as listed here is not the only way they could be sequenced. Although judgment needs to be exercised on the order and on the information to be disclosed, all questions should be answered. You can pause the video and read out the questions to be answered under each content element. Finally, LOS of CMA syllabus requires you to identify the benefits and challenges in adopting integrated reporting. When you talk about benefits, companies which adopted integrated reporting enjoyed greater clarity on factors affecting long-term business performance. It also resulted in improved reputation and stakeholder relationships. However, following are the major challenges. First of all, more needs to be done in establishing proper materiality definition process. Materiality filters should be established to decide what is to be included and what is not to be included in the integrated report. The next challenge is to ensure the quality of non-financial data. It requires strengthening internal controls in that area. Another challenge is to develop standards for assurance of non-financial data. It is necessary to enhance the quality and comparability of integrated reports. Hopefully, the next revision of IR framework will address this issue, especially the audit of non-financial data. The next challenge is the lack of universally accepted standards for measuring and reporting value creation and non-financial information. Finally, support from CEO and board and the tone at the top are very critical to the success of IR. Obviously, IR incurs costs, but eventually the benefits of IR should outweigh these costs. Once the systems and metrics are established, an organization can continue to benefit for a long time. As we have covered almost all the LOS, I would like to conclude this session by showing you a graphic from the latest annual integrated corporate report published by the German chemical giant BASF. This is modeled on the IIRC framework. You can well appreciate the value creation story of BASF Group in terms of the 6 capitals. You can consider this as a very good example for a concise presentation of integrated report. Thank you very much for your patient listening. I wish you all the best for your exam.